my lectures and everything and post them up on YouTube. But every now and then something happens. Okay. I've had them not code before, whatever, right? So you put in Pearson, and then like that. I think it actually just, and then you put in the textbook right there. Okay. And this textbook we're using has a Pearson Plus. Okay. All right. That making sense? Fantastic. Okay. Now, again, not selling you on it. Make your own decision. I'm not really sure if it's worth the money or not, which is one of the reasons it's not part of the course. You know, I could technically probably get it added to your tuition and then it's all Mac thing, but I'm again not sure if it's worth it. It's very new. I haven't really gotten a chance to evaluate. Okay, so everybody, I would ask to get on your digital device, get into Canvas, make sure you download your syllabus, and we're going to go over like what this course is, how it's going to be taught, plans for the next semester, all sorts of information you want to know. Please note, as the email said as well, that this is the lecture. It's 3 credit hours. It's Chemistry 103-01 for the first section. Okay? But there is a 1 credit hour lab as well, right? And that is 103L. Okay? And it will have some number after 01, 02, etc. Okay? I teach 01, 03, 04. And then Hawkins teaches, Professor Hawkins teaches 02, which is in the evening on Tuesday. Okay? And so you do not have to have the same professor for lecture and lab for this. We do that so that you can mix and match them and you have more schedule availability and freedom. Okay? And so please be careful about that. They will have 2 Canvas sections. They will have 2 grades. You'll get grades for each of them. This one will be weighted with 3 credit hours. The lab will be weighted with 1 credit. Okay? As far as your overall grade goes. In terms of your overall university grade. I will issue you a grade for just the lecture. Okay? In this course. Not the lab. Lab has nothing to do with this course. Except for it covers the signature. In the same order. Okay. Did that make sense? Okay. So it's a common misconception. Mistakes get made all the time that people will like, I was doing assignments in the lecture and then failure to attend in the lab, right? Because if you do everything for the lecture and never do anything for the lab, you can fail the lab. Okay? Okay. So what you'll see here is we have a landing page. It has a short blurb on me. This is going to be your course description. This is the required text right here. This is inclusive access course, so that's part of your tuition. Okay, you shouldn't have to buy this text. Well, you've technically already bought this text. It's part of tuition. You will want a scientific calculator of some sort. I don't care what sort of scientific calculator is, as long as it can do things like powers and logs, you're good. Okay? That's fine and dandy. It can't connect to the internet. These are the most popular. This sort of thing, which is the TI like 82s and below. This is a TI 30. And very, very popular, very cheap, very easy to get. If you go on like eBay and look for used ones, especially between semesters, they go for a few bucks. Okay? You can use a TI-83 as well. That's the graphing calculators, the big ones. You cannot use the TI-84 and past. Those ones are internet-connected calculators. Okay? And so can't use them, can't be on the internet when you're taking exams. Okay, so you look here and part of the way down, there's things like the lecture PowerPoints that's linked. There's the lecture videos and QA. Again, I record all my lectures. I've done that for years, and so you'll see that there's already lectures up here. That's last semester's lectures. And then I'll be posting the ones from this semester, and this will just continue on. Okay? Oops, I actually have to change that link because I have excluded the QA. So you can't get to the QAs unless you back out into my main channel, I guess. This channel is public. I do not claim the comments. People have been making comments. I have 50 followers now over the Christmas. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, and they've been leaving comments, and they've been very nice comments, actually. But I have no idea what to tell you there. Weird. Anyways, I guess people look up, like, how do I do organic chemistry videos a lot? Because those exploded really fast for Christmas. They're sitting there and, like, Christmas Day watching organic chemistry videos. I don't know. So, anyways, they are public comments that are available. This is a public channel. I did it because there was issues with people gaining access to these videos, depending on like what Wi-Fi's you were on, especially for like public school Wi-Fi's, without me making a public channel. So, that is that. I'll actually change it to enter on my main channel area so that you guys can get to the QA videos immediately. Okay? Then you can go lecture or QA. There are question and answer videos where people ask me questions and I answer them. I have a few hundred of them that I've done various questions, though I have had a shockingly low number of questions that I can take videos for since I've been at Cumberland. So most of those are actually different question sets, but over similar materials. So if you sort of scan through there, you'll find same sort of question, just slightly different numbers, slightly different organization. Okay. If you want to help people, by the way, and you end up scanning through there, if you public comment what it's about, you can actually search that. So it is helpful to other people. This right here is all my lecture PowerPoints. It's the folder I actually use this semester with my lecture PowerPoints. So when I make changes, they'll automatically change here. And so there you go. In case you don't know this, you can actually open. So if you download these instead of, so you can open them directly, okay? But it won't give you PowerPoint, which is a Microsoft product, right? It will instead open it in the Google version of that, Sheets, okay? Which changes some of the formatting and some of the symbols won't transfer, and it does a few weird things, okay? However, you can download that instead. So you can download under Files, download, and download it as a PowerPoint, which is what it is, okay? And then all the formatting will be as good as it is. Though PowerPoint itself has changed format codings 4 times in 2 years. So there are still a few symbols that I need to fix because they keep changing what the damn symbol is. Microsoft, man. Microsoft. Killing me. And so, if you download them, you'll get something like that, PowerPoint, and you can open that. And what you'll see is there's a really cool feature that was very, very useful for students. You can print them, and you can change the format. Instead of being 1 slide per page, you can change it here to 3 slides right there, and see how it's notes on the side. That way you don't have to sit there and write everything that's on the PowerPoint, right? And you can take notes on the side, okay? You can also just do PowerPoints taking notes on the PowerPoints, but I find most people prefer this. And this is actually very close to what's called the Oxford note-taking style, okay? So in the Oxford note-taking style, you put directly transcribing the professor's thing, kind of, like you would normally do for a lecture notes, okay? and then you summarize over here of what are the important points out of that, okay? And then on the bottom or top, you then summarize what are key concepts on that page. So you can quickly go through the pages and find things you need, okay? And that's the Oxford note-taking style. It's a far superior style. It's considered one of the best note-taking styles in the world. And people actually, I know one person that makes $30,000 a year just training people a few hours a week on Oxford note-taking style. So, yeah, it's impressive pedigree, right? Feel free. Very useful if you just print those off. You don't have to sit there and try to, note everything. You really, really don't. Okay, so don't reveal, but think, do I do this? Who here sits there and directly writes exactly what the professor says and has on the PowerPoint? If you're doing that, you don't. If you're doing that, it's an extremely inefficient way to take notes because you're wasting a lot of time on the A. Words that, are they helping you understand it? No. And rewriting things that you just don't really need, right? They're structural things I need to put. They're not things that help your understanding, okay? And so when you're taking notes, really, you should spend about a third, okay? You should spend a third of the time thinking about what you're being told, okay? And how does that work? How does that overlay what I've been told previously, okay? Do I understand that? How's he doing that? Why is that person doing that? Did I get the same answer? Okay. And so a third of the time should be thinking, a third of the time writing, and a third of the time should actually be trying to utilize the information, especially during like example prompts. So instead of going, I'm just going to finish writing the stuff on the page while he's saying solve the problem, you should try to solve the problem. Because it looks real easy when somebody else does it. Anybody ever watched a video of somebody cooking or a project or art or a project for like your house? And you're like, that looks easy. And then you try to do it. It's not easy, is it? So watching somebody else, very easy appearing, right? Actually doing, that's another thing, okay? And so one of the things you really need to do is make an actual attempt at problems. When I bring a problem up, you need to make a real attempt at it and see how far you get, okay? Find out where you break, because you're probably very likely going to break way before I would, actually have the answer, especially for the first time learning something, right? And you need to know where your problem is before you can go, oh, that's why he did this. Or go, Dr. Clausen, I stopped here. You did this. Why did you do that? Okay? I don't understand. Right? And please do not be embarrassed about not understanding. This is chemistry. There are lots and lots of people that do not understand. And it is okay. Okay? At the end of the course, you should understand. That's when you would be embarrassed about not understanding something. At the taking the course, you're here as a student, you should not understand it. You already understood this. You're wasting a whole lot of time and money. Okay? And so please take advantage of that. All right. So everybody got where I can find my PowerPoints? Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Right, and then we can go here. This is actually a Calendly link. You can actually schedule appointments with your professor, me. My name is Dr. Clausen, by the way. We'll go into my bio in a little bit, but I want to finish showing you these important links and how to get there. So let's say I wanted a meeting and I want to make sure that I'm going to be the priority during that meeting. I could schedule one. And this also shows you my office hours as well, but my office hours shows up a lot of places, okay? And so, for example, I have 7:30 to 8 tomorrow morning that you can schedule a meeting, and then you'll be the highest priority during that time. Okay. Why have I had to implement this? I will pretty commonly get like 2 to 5 people come to my office almost all my office hours, 80 something percent of them. Okay. Like my office hours are apparently a very happening place. It is very busy, lots of people, kind of noisy sometimes. A lot of people wanting different things, so I'm like jumping back and forth between multiple different topics. If you make the Calendly link, I will put you as a priority. You get to dictate. Okay. I oftentimes will still have somebody else, but you will be the priority. I'll always come back to you, and you'll be the mainline attraction for that time. Okay. Please do not just block out my entire calendar. Anytime I say something that you're like, that's ridiculous, Dr. Clausen, who would do that? It's because somebody has done it. Okay. Okay. So syllabus and dynamic schedule. Syllabus you can get on here. This is the syllabus, but you can actually download it as well by clicking on this. Okay. Or look at it as a document, which I find preferable, but I wanted a quick access way as well. Notice, by the way, my office hours are right there as well. That is my office right there. In case you're wondering, where is this office? It is between the lecture and the lab. Okay. It has no external access. You cannot get it to it from the hallway. Okay. So you must enter this lecture room or the lab room, one of the two, to get to my office. Okay. If there's a class in here and this is the door that's open, wave as you come through to my door. And okay. If my door's shut and it's office hour, hey, Dr. Clausen, because it's possible, and this happens to me quite often, where I get like a lecture here and a lab on the other side, and they're both extremely loud, and things are going on in these things, and they close my door on me sometimes too. So please do knock. Okay. I try to keep my doors open, but it's difficult to do when people keep closing them all the time. And I have no external door to the The dynamic schedule. This is kind of a cool thing that I do right here. And what it is you'll see that this is our course. It tells you what day we're currently on, automatically updates to blue. And then this is the week right here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it actually shows you what exactly is going on every day. Okay. This schedule is going to be pretty set in stone because I've taught this 2 semesters and I ended up on basically the same area each time. It'll be a little flexible, like maybe we end up doing chapter 1 here and chapter 2. Like very, very end of chapter 1 and chapter 2, we begin here, and then we end up completing chapter 2 and starting chapter 3. That sort of thing. Like that flexes a little bit. Everybody learns at slightly different rates. Every single chapter, we have a lot of variety in this class. It's kind of a neat class in that you learn a tremendous variety of information. And so, anyways, this will update Tuesday, tomorrow. It'll turn blue here. Okay. It also tells you what week we're on, in case you're wondering. It has things like exams. This is actually how I plan my schedule. This is what it looks like on my end. That's then split up into information for you to see easily. And it is how I plan out my schedule. You can see I have lots of things I have to schedule out. And so, like, if snow day happens, I will change here first. You'll see it come here first, and then I'll make announcements. Okay? And so if you're ever wondering, that is the first place you should look, the dynamic schedule, because it will update all the time with the brand new information, is where I make the plans. It's like looking inside my head. Okay? Oh, Dr. Clausen's thinking about moving the assignment. It's changing in the schedule. Yep. Okay, so this is the student-led Q&A. This is for questions at like midnight, 2 a.m. And you're like, I wonder if anybody knows this. Okay? or questions that really aren't questions for me. Anybody else get like their assignment grade back? Anybody else having something weird going on with Pearson? Okay. Like, I can't really tell you that as easily because I don't have access to student end of this stuff. I have access to professor. And so those are great questions put up here. I do actually give out bonus points for people that help people on there. There is a how to study for chemistry that like takes you go through like a guideline of how you can use study for chemistry. Most of you will probably completely ignore that right now, but after exam 1, there'll be a wave of people that will ask me that question, and I obviously have been asked that question before. There you go. Okay. And so that happens every semester. Don't be embarrassed. Please look. Talk to me if you still don't understand after looking. Okay. Now, what you'll notice is there's also stuff to help you navigate the website. All of this stuff exists over here, which is under this 3 lines. See that? Okay. And so, for example, I can get to my syllabus. That's the same syllabus link. I can get to announcements, which you guys saw that email announcement right there. It also sends us an email, but that's where they are as well. In case I lose it in my email, delete it, whatever. No one. You go under modules. Modules is very important because this is actually how I've structured the course. This is how I meant for it to look for you. Okay. Now, before I get into all this and the syllabus, okay, you should always evaluate, is the person that's supposed to teach me qualified to teach me? Okay. So I am Dr. Joshua Clausen. Okay, you'll call me Dr. Clausen, Dr. K, something along those lines. You can call me Professor K or Professor Clausen as well, though I am a PhD in chemistry and geosciences. Okay, and so I have a PhD in chemistry and geosciences. I would be what's normally called a spectroscopist. We're probably the most industry valued chemist in general. We're the type of people that tell you, one of the things I did was, let's say that one company makes a drug and then another company goes, that's our drug. We have a patent on that. And so they would get scientific councils that are independent to verify whether those are the same drug. And they would then present that in the court. Okay. And I did that for 4 lawsuits. So I do that. That's the sort of thing I do. Also, when they're looking for like water on other planets, that's the sort of thing I do. When they look for organic molecules in this quasar, that's the sort of thing I do. When they're looking at like, does Coca-Cola, is it the same formula? Or does it have a poison in it now? That's the sort of thing I do. That's a spectroscopist, okay? And so I have about, depending on what types of publications you want to look at, just in terms of peer-reviewed international journal publications, I have 24. In terms of like 2 book chapters and then some proceedings to meetings, and then I have a couple more regional journals that I don't normally count in that. And so it can range up to like 30. Okay. That's a pretty decent number for somebody my age, but not like massively ridiculous. Like my advisor was 1,100 publications by the time he retired. So that guy was a producer. And so, am I qualified to teach you? We can keep going. Like, I taught KU medical graduate level and undergraduate level biochemistry for 3 years. I have about 16 years of teaching experience at various different undergraduate and graduate level universities. Do we want to keep going or? Yeah, I'll quit. Yeah. I was a guest editor for Spectrochem Acta. That one's actually the most impressive. Okay, anyways, those are my qualifications, bona fides. All right, everybody good? Everybody see your office hours? They're on the syllabus as well? Okay. Okay, so this right here is the syllabus. And in case you did not know, whoopsie, I have the wrong syllabus linked. Wow. Is it 103L on your guys' end? Yeah? Okay. So that is the incorrect syllabus. That is the lab syllabus, as we were discussing before. Okay. And so the lecture syllabus. There we go. Okay. Let me update that. Okay, the link at least is correct. I'll have to check the embedded document and fix that if it's not correct. Which it probably is not. Yeah, it's not. Okay. So that is the correct syllabus now. Again, same office hours. That doesn't change. Course description's the same. The required materials is the lecture textbook, and then you need a calculator. And then I've put a recommended material in case you forget, Pearson Plus, though I'm not really sure how recommended that is, if I'm being honest. Learning outcomes is actually what you need if you transfer this course. You need this syllabus and a statement from me typically. Okay? So if you ever need to transfer, I highly recommend that you download all your syllabi all the time and keep them in a folder somewhere. Okay? Because those are what you need to transfer here. This right here is the grades. So what you'll see here is that homework assignments are worth 45% of the grade. Your in-class Plickr responses / attendance is going to be worth 5%. Plickr are these QR codes you see right there. I'll be talking about those in just a bit. And what you do is you answer questions, which I'll have up here at the beginning of each class. And they're going to act two ways. They're going to act, number one, half of this 5%, 2.5%, is going to be just, did you get it right? Okay. And then the other half is, were you there? Did you answer? Right. And then we have review assignments. There'll be a little review assignments that are meant to help you study for the exams. And they're fairly long-ish, longer than a typical homework. And they will be worth 7.5% total. Okay. That is actually a extra credit score. That is a bonus. So you get 7.5% bonus points for doing this. Okay. Which is just good study habits. And then you get 50% is the exams. And that's going to be all the exams altogether, 50%. Okay. That gives a total of 107.5% possible out of 100%. Okay. So you can get higher than 100% in the Canvas portion. It doesn't do anything for you because A is an A is an A is an A. Okay. As you see here, above 90%, you get an A. Okay. We do B pluses and C pluses in the sciences, and so those are the B plus and C plus limits. We don't do minuses, and we don't do the D plus F plus. Okay. All right. And those are your cutoffs. Now, the homeworks are going to be minus 1% per day with a maximum of 50% off. Okay. And those are due by the Thursday of finals. The semester actually ends on Friday. It is over as of Thursday night, actually. Okay. And so that is the cutoff for the semester. And so, like, you can go back and do homeworks and still get some points. It is something. I always want to make it so it's worth doing something, learning something. Okay. Okay. I highly recommend doing the homeworks before the exams, though, in case that wasn't obvious. um, if you do the homeworks before the exams, the homeworks are highly interrelated to what we're learning, right? And you'll do much better on exams. Okay. And yes, they are actually the same sort of questions as are on the exams. No, they will not be literally the exact same question. Okay. And like it may have a difference of you work a question one way versus the other way. Okay. Like I can start you in pounds to convert to kilograms, right? Or I could start you in kilograms to convert to pounds. It's the same question. It's not a different question. Okay. It's just working it one way versus the other. Okay, so exams are going to be 1 hour exams. We have 4 exams throughout the semester. And so we'll have an exam every few weeks. And then what's going to happen is on the final, we'll actually have a 1 hour exam. That's exam 4. Okay. Now, what I will also do is if you would like to, for the second part of that, I will offer a optional, what I call the optional comprehensive final. Okay. Which is a comprehensive final. It's comprehensive over everything in the class. It is optional. It replaces your worst grade. Okay. How it calculates that is it literally replaces the grade that is worst for you. So it will actually optimize your score for that. If you do not take it, it goes to 0, and that is your worst score, and that gets dropped. Okay. Okay. And so that's the optional comprehensive final. You do need to attend course to do the exams, of course, and it's highly recommended to attend, period. You will be getting points off towards that attendance score. Every time you don't attend, you can be excused for university-approved absences, though. Okay? In which case you'll be excused, and that'll be dropped from the grade. Okay? Okay. So there's health concerns, artificial intelligence, all sorts of stuff. Campus support. Now, this campus support, most of you are going to just completely not ignore this and not read this and not pay attention to it and nothing. That's a mistake. This university really does care about you all, and there are a tremendous number of people that are passionately trying to help you. And a lot of students are not taking advantage of those things. Okay. And you really, really should check out what is available to you. Okay. Before something goes wrong, but after something goes wrong as well. Okay. Okay. This right here is emergency numbers, and your Rave app kind of takes care of all this. But if you, for whatever reason, don't have the Rave app, doesn't work properly, whatever, get these numbers in your phone book before you actually need them. Because, my God, do you not want to try to call this number when you actually need things? Yeah. And figure out numbers? Okay. So this is the overall schedule. I'm going to switch to the dynamic schedule, though, because I actually think that's easier to deal with, and it's just more detailed. But it says the same information, okay? I just can put more information on it because I'm not so limited in size. Right? And commitment. That's also another issue that I have with the syllabus, is I need to keep it personally vague in case we have things like snow days. Right? So this is the dynamic schedule. And again, what you're going to see is we're going to be doing chapter 1 today and next time, right? And then we have Martin Luther King Day right here. And then we'll do chapter 2, chapter 3, and then we'll start on chapter 4. See that? Every time what you're going to notice is we always start on the next chapter, and then we don't cover that on the exam. Okay? To give you a little extra time in between. And so exam 1 is going to be over what chapters? 1 through 3. Okay, so if you ask me, Dr. Clausen, what is exam 1 over? It's over. 1 through 3. Okay. I've very, very purposefully put those in on places. You can understand how many emails I get on that. So exam 4 then, I'm sorry, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, then the spring break. And then we start chapter 7, and now we're doing exam 2, right? And that's over, chapters 4 through 6. Okay. And that's what that looks like. Now, what you'll notice is that the modules has a lot of this information repeated in it because it's structured, things have due dates, etc., right? So it actually, like, assignments are going to come up due and they're going to go, hey, we should be done. And hey, you have exam 1 coming up. And exam 1, if you click on it, it has chapters on it. And so a lot of this stuff actually gets taken care of for you as long as you pay attention to the Canvas course. Now, there's also the optional comprehensive. For the time for your final, what you should do to check that is come on down here to this part right here, and that's your final exam time. Okay, that's the date and time. And if anything happens and I have to make changes, or the university suddenly goes, we're changing the schedule, that would be updated, right? Okay. How do I figure out what days we have class and don't have class? And hey, do I have class during spring break? And Dr. Clausen, should I show up during Martin Luther King? How do I figure that out? That section right there, right? Which is the academic calendar shrunk down. Okay. There you go. All right. How do I figure out when my final exam is? Well, you can actually figure it out from this right here. Okay. So you will notice that we are currently meeting. And so this is Monday, Wednesday, right? And we started this lecture at 12:30. And so what do you see? Right there, right? 12:30 Monday, Wednesday. And so 10:30 Wednesday of finals week. Okay. If I get any professor that doesn't know when their final is, didn't post it, whatever, congratulations. Okay, that's a university-wide calendar. Okay, you can just check it out there. I got you. All right. Any questions? Ooh, I have some repairs to do to this, don't I? I forgot to take out the old one. Missed it. All right, I need an editor, which is really sad because I actually was an editor for a journal. I got a lot of stuff going on. Okay. And so this right here is the modules. We're doing the first meeting right now. This is the textbook online homework activation. And that tells you how to do this in case you forget everything I talked about right here. What you're going to do here is you're going to go to Vital Source course material. I'm going to do it on here, okay. Vital Source course material. And it should pop up something that looks like that. Okay. Okay. You're going to hit reveal access code. I can't do it, otherwise you'll see that access code, and it would really mess things up if you use that access code. Mm-hmm. Man, shit.
Just like it has like
Great. Great. Okay, that is wonderful. Let's give it the day, and then contact me tomorrow if it's still not working, because sometimes it takes a while for them to port things over properly, and there's issues. I would appreciate it if you all, well, not all of you, but like 1 or 2 of you sends an email to the bookstore. saying, hey, our vital source is not bringing up codes. And who was it that said it just completely doesn't? Your vital source code is basically when you hit the reveal code access code, it just blanks out here. Yeah.
Where the code is supposed to be.
If you copy, does it actually copy something?
No, there's
No.
no. I tried to copy it and put it in. That was
Shoot. Okay. And then one person I think said it just did not load.
it is.
Yeah. So send those things, okay, to the bookstore, because yours, I have no idea what that is. And yours, they apparently have not actually implemented the codes yet. Once I go to extend it, I'll bring up mine and see if I get a code or not. Though it doesn't do anything for me. So, anyways, there's links here. Oh, I did put in the Pearson Plus link. And then there's an introductory assignment that's supposed to help you use mastering chemistry. And so what you should see is it should just like come up like that and allow you to go into Pearson. It'll let you do that. You just won't automatically sign in properly. You'll get a page that says you need to sign in, and then instead of signing in, you're going to go, I need to activate it with code of a book that I've already purchased. Okay? And then that code should have a code, and you will copy that code and paste it. Okay. I will also contact the bookstore. Let me put that in my calendar while I'm thinking of it, because yeah. Okay.
You cannot get to any of this.
Yeah, you can't get to the assignment. Yeah. So you're going to click that link, and what it will do instead is it'll bring you to a login page. Yeah. Like a sign in into your password page. And you won't be able to go any further than that. That will be where it stops. There is tutor services available. There's actually two different types of tutor that's available for chemistry. So one is this flyer right here, which is the main tutoring service in the library. Okay. And then there's also a tutoring service down here at the end of the hall. Okay. So when you come up to this floor, if you take a right and go all the way down to the end, and then take another right, so all the way down there, and then take a right, okay, you're going to see there's like a lecture hall. It's called the Science Tutoring Lab. Okay. And there'll be tutors in there, and you can get help from them as well. Okay. Those will have posters that are going to get posted up here at some point. Right. This one, you can take a QR code and you can arrange for tutoring services, and that's through the library. Okay. So 2 different sources of tutoring. If you get Pearson Plus, 3 different sources of tutoring. And my office hours. Okay. Okay. And so, again, this is all under modules. We're getting started here. This is where the video lectures and Q&A are. You'll see that goes to my channel here, and you can get the Q&A and the video lectures. We're fundamentals of chemistry, okay? And so you'd go to fundamentals of chemistry right there, and that's the lecture videos. There's also Q&As that are right there. Okay. All right. Right. So right here is also the homeworks. They will take you to that homework assignment on Pearson whenever we get the access code result. And you can start doing homeworks, okay? What you will see is, again, they're minus 1% per day typically. Here's the review that you'll want to do before the exam. And right here's the exam right there. And that's where you will get your grade report, okay? And so we will do paper exams. They'll use what's called ZipGrader to grade. I will actually post then the exam versions with answer keys and your bubble sheet that you filled in. They'll be on this website here, which is ZipGrader. On the comments on exam 1, you'll see there'll be little comments that'll show up somewhere around here if you're on the sort page. You can't get them if you use the app. You have to go on to the browser. Okay. What you'll see is I will then give you a PDF sheet in the comments that gives you the ZipGrader code and access code. Okay. So you'll have a ZipGrader ID and access code. You'll need to have that ZipGrader ID written for the exams so that you have that available on the exam and you can put that number in. That way I can get grades turned around faster. Okay. Okay. Now, on exams, there's good news and bad news. Okay. I give the bad news, I'll start with. I give pretty difficult exams. You probably have heard this if you talk to anybody. A lot of people go, my exams are fairly difficult. However, I do give you a page front and back of notes that you can bring to the exam. Okay? So you get one page front and back of notes, a little cheat sheet, if you will, that you can use on the exam. Anything you want to put. Okay? On that cheat sheet, you do, however, need to put a little corner where you write down your ZipGrader ID. Okay? Because you're going to need to copy that onto the exam. Okay. And the last exam, exam 4, you can bring a cheat sheet for that. You can bring a separate cheat sheet that you cannot use during exam 4 for the optional final if you decide to take it. Okay? And you can pull that out and use that. Okay. Did everybody get that okay? Any questions? All right. So look at there, chapters 1 through 3, right? It's on that exam and it has all the details. And this is always included in all my exams. So if you want to know what I'll include in the exam, that's it right there. That's periodic table, which is the major part. Okay. And so, modules real quick. Let's see, the whole course is there, all ready to go. You can actually kind of work at your own pace. You are expected to show up to lectures, though, because there is part of your grade that is attendance and clickers on lectures, okay? But if you miss something, everything's available. Okay. Any questions on any of that so far? Okay, very good. All right. Okay. This is also another link to Pearson if you need it. That should also work. And right here is direct link to assignments. You can get to your grades right here. There we go. Okay. So let's really quickly talk using this assignment link real quick. You'll notice on the top there, it says Plickr. I would like everybody to go to assignments, go to Plickr, and you'll want to click on that Plickr. Okay. You will notice under Plickr, there are two things. There's PDFs. One of those is the Plickr cards. That's 1 to 63 for the card numbers. The other is a list of all the students in the course and what their Plickr number is. It's ordered by first name. So you'll look for your first name. The number next to that is your card number. I have printed these cards off. They are right here on this chair right there. And so what you want to do is you're going to want to come up or send somebody up to grab a couple. And you're going to want to get these numbers. And that's going to be your Plickr card for the rest of the semester. And we're going to use those during the semester to answer questions. So every lecture, I'll give like 1 or 2 questions through Plickr. And you'll see those up here when you come in every lecture. You'll get your Plickr card ready. And then when I ask for the answer, you're going to take this Plickr card. You're going to center it towards me with your fingers not covering it. So I'll use a phone to take the answers. And so it's nice and straight. Okay. And you'll see that, well, maybe you can't see from where, but this says D, C, A, and B like that. Okay. Right now I am answering D because D is on the top. Okay. It has a little number that says 3. So I'm answering as number 3 on the Plickr system. Okay. If you answer as a different number than what your number is on here, you will not answer as yourself. Okay. You will notice that it is just thin paper. So if you put it in front of the light source, it changes. It doesn't. It's very difficult to see. And so if you're in front of one of the windows, you're going to want to block the light a little bit. I recommend using your own body and just answer like that. Okay. The easiest way to use these is, you know how there's the 3-ring binders with the clear fronts. Just take this and put it in the 3-ring binder you're going to use for this light. Okay. I do recommend you put your class and your name on the back. Your name, in case your partner next to you accidentally grabs yours. Okay. Your class, because there are other professors who use Plickr. If you happen to have one of those professors, you'll have 2 of these. There'll be different numbers. Do not use the other one to answer in your class. Okay. You'll answer as a different person. You won't then be attending. Okay, please get your number and come up and grab the Plickr card here because we're actually going to use this and practice this. Oh, then you just were added recently. I just pulled this morning, yeah. Yeah. So what we'll do is send me an email to remind me, okay? I need to pull it again. And I'll get you an updated one on there. I think you'll probably end up as 36. Is the last number 35 on there? Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
The number in order.
They were numbered in order. No, that's a whole nother class.
Oh, I got number 3 though.
Does somebody have number 3?
Oh, okay. Oh,
There you go. Okay. So this is going to be, once I get that actually showing right. Essentially what you see every time you come into this class, okay, is I'll have it extended like that. You'll see the Plickr on the screen, and you'll want to get your card ready and then get ready to answer. You don't have to hold it up until I say, please get your answer. And you'll see my phone comes out. And when I'm ready to go, what you'll see is essentially this. Okay? And that means I'm ready to go. Okay? That I'm taking answers. One of the things you gotta be really careful about is if you leave your Plickr up on your desk, like yours is right now, and I start scanning people, yeah, I can scan your answer, right? And so you need to be really careful about that. If you're not ready to answer, I recommend you keep it facing down. Okay? Otherwise, you're very likely to answer. What's that last number that we ended up?
It ended at 35.
35? Yeah. So you're almost certainly going to be 30. Just answer as 36. You'll be counted as what's called guess. Okay. And then I'll put you in. But do remember to email. Okay. Because I don't get to. I teach another lecture after this. And okay. Anybody have any questions so far? All right, so this is a little quiz on some of the information we just talked about. Go ahead and get your answer ready for this. So one of the things you'll notice, yeah, it's turning blue. When I've gotten your answer, it'll turn blue like that. That means you've answered. Doesn't mean you've answered correctly or incorrectly. Just means you've answered. Okay? All right.
My name's actually on there, but it wasn't
But
on
it's
the
not on
list.
the list. But she's number 7.
Oh, how's that? Huh. Did the number 7 get cut off on the page, maybe, or something? Weird.
But I'll do this one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Don't do the other one. You don't have to be a guest. You are a student. Dang it. Okay.
So we pulled up like what we were.
Yeah. So whatever the correct answer is, you hold up to the top. Yeah. Okay. So what is my name? Klaus. Pronounced like the pickles. It's actually son of Klaus, an old German. So I'm the son of Nicholas or Klaus. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Though you may have to go back and forth a bit if there's a weird line. But yes, they absolutely work. As long as the QR code is that, they work no matter what you do. You can bring up, in fact, I do recommend people look up your name, go onto that QR code list I have, and you can actually print your QR code to a PDF and carry around on your phone. And if you forget your code, you can bring it up on your phone. It takes a little work, and you have to get pretty close to me, but it does work. Anybody have any more questions? Okay, so that is my name right there, Professor Clausen. I will note that actually 2 of you got that wrong. Okay, so one of the things I really have to talk about is the fact that end of semester, last semester, this same class, different section, of course, I had a 10th of the people that even when I told them the answer, still got it wrong. So it's only the 103s that I have those issues. So I don't know what that is, but it is a thing. It's one of the reasons why we're doing this, right? So we can try to get that worked through. If you see somebody that's obviously messing up and you know they meant to answer differently, you might want to tap them on the shoulder and go, hey. Okay, so what is the answer to this one? Or what is a valid answer to this one? This one actually has a number of valid answers. Does anybody know what the university approved communication method is? Email. Yes. It is. And that's for a number of reasons. Your fingers. There you go. Yeah, if you block off part of the code with your fingers. Okay. So the email is the preferred and the university approved method of communication, though through Canvas actually goes to the email, so that's fine. I will use the email to respond because Canvas's tool is not great. Okay, though better than some of the others. This is my phone number. It rings into that office, which also rings my cell phone. Do not call me at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. Okay. If you're wondering, if you call me, it'll be the 7th time somebody has called me at like 2 a.m., 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday or Sunday. Okay? And so I will cuss you out slightly and click. because I will then mostly often like just sleeping or sleeping a little bit, and I'll be like, worst one is the one that happened on Wednesday, 3 o'clock in the morning. What the hell are you doing at 3 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday? Come on. The 8 a.m. class, people. All right. So office hours right there. You can, of course, communicate. Email is definitely helpful for me. I have a very, 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 very packed schedule. Okay. I have 4 lectures today. On Wednesdays, I actually have 5 lectures. And then I have 2 labs on Tuesday, 2 labs on Thursday, another lab on Friday. Okay. And so on my end of this, I'm keeping track of, 9 different courses and due dates for all of those, and they're all different. And if you ask me what question 1's answer is in 3 weeks, does anybody know how cognizant I can possibly give it an answer? I have 9 assignments that week, question 1, and then times, 12, right? I have like hundreds of question 1s. Which question 1? I don't know. Doesn't include the randomized assignments I have, right? Oh, wow. Okay. Exams are worth what % of my grade? Look at your deal and make sure it's going through. If it's not going through, you may have to straighten it. You may have to change your angle. You may have to hold it higher because I can't scan these through people. Your fingers are on top. There you go. Yeah. And yes, you can change your answers. So whatever scans last is your answer. Okay. So if you ever want to change your answer, you just hold it back up, different answer, as long as I'm scanning, you're good. Okay. 4 people got this one wrong, by the way. And so it is 50% of your grade is the exams. Okay? Okay. Is this the lab or the lecture? Are we currently in lab or lecture? Will you get your grade for the lab or lecture from this? All right, so this is indeed the lecture. And the courses are definitely separate. Okay, one person answered that one. Okay, that making sense for everybody? All right. We will start on a few minutes of lecture, and then we will be done for the day.